Within all the history about the Revolutionary War, there are many different stories and many different names. Some of the names include the following.
Cradle me, I'll cradle you, I'll win your heart with a woo-woo, pulling shapes just for your eyes.
But it doesn't stop there, because behind all the opinions and behind all the history, these were real people and these were real stories. So what I'm about to show you is a less complicated side to the American Revolution. It all really started with the 13 colonies, which include New York, New Hampshire, Massachusetts, Rhode Island, Delaware, Pennsylvania, New Jersey, Georgia, Connecticut, Maryland, South Carolina, Virginia, and North Carolina. They sailed over from England and they landed on the east coast of what we now know as the United States. The colonists started to get all new kinds of ideas about what they wanted and who they wanted it from. One of those ideas being freedom. This is where the terms patriots and loyalists come into play, because little did the colonists know, but at that time, they were beginning the start of the entire revolution. On June 16, 1775, the Americans occupied Bunker Hill. Bunker Hill overlooks Boston. The British came over the next day on June 17th, and the British and the Americans fought. The British won, but the Americans put up a good fight. The Battle of Fort Washington was fought in New York on November 16, 1776. The British side ended up winning this battle, which took place in northern Manhattan. This is the view of the British positions at the Battle of White Marsh, and this was one of the first battles led by George Washington himself. He was the commander-in-chief of this battle for the Patriot side.
Say something, I'm giving up on you.
Abigail Adams was the wife of John Adams, the first vice president and the second president of the United States. She was also the mother of John Quincy Adams, who was the sixth president. She was important in the Revolutionary War times because not only was she John Adams' wife, but he was the lawyer of very important people during the time period. Paul Revere was a silversmith, industrialist, and a patriot in the American Revolution. He is most famous for alerting the colonial people about the approach of the British forces, and that was at the battles of Lexington and Concord.
I'm still learning to love. I'm starting to cry.
Not only was Sam Adams popular in the American Revolution because he was the starter of the Sons of Liberty, a patriot group who helped pretty much terrorize everyone on the British side in the colonies, but he was also a founding father of the United States of America.
You're the one that I'm saying goodbye. Say something.
The Boston Massacre happened on March 5, 1770, in Boston, Massachusetts. The Boston Massacre killed 5 colonists and many, many were injured. This was the start of the entire revolution. In 1767, a law was placed named for Charles Townshend, and the law placed new taxes on glass, lead, paints, paper, and tea, and other goods. The reactions to these taxes were the same as to the Sugar Act and the Stamp Act, and eventually the colonists just got fed up and stopped paying them. The Boston Tea Party was one of the biggest events leading up to the Revolutionary War because the American colonists were calling it quits pretty much, and they started a group called the Sons of Liberty, disguised as Native Americans, boarded British ships, and dumped 342 whole crates of British tea into the Boston harbor. All in all, the American Revolution was in a very important time period for the history of the United States and where we are today. Because without the American Revolution, we would not have the society we have, we would not have the rights we have, and we would not have the freedom we have. So thank you to the American Revolution.
When you get what you want, but not what you need.